So thanks for being part of this discussion. I'm Pat Iyer, and I'm having a conversation with Cheri Martin about using LinkedIn for attracting attorney clients. Cheri, thank you so much for being part of this discussion. It's such a pleasure to have you here talking with me about a subject that I know you are expert in as a social media strategist.
Well, thank you for having me be your guest here on your Facebook Live, coming to everyone from Zoom. And there's always that little delay sometimes, so hopefully everybody will start connecting with us as we are live on your profile here. But yeah, I love LinkedIn. I believe that LinkedIn is one of the best prospecting platforms that are there for us, for business people, entrepreneurs especially, and building those relationships. I mean, it's the most untapped resource out there today. A lot of individuals in business do not really use it.
Absolutely. And can you give us some thoughts about why LinkedIn is such a powerful tool for legal nurse consultants?
Well, one of the reasons is when you look at your audience that you want to reach, you really have to narrow down where they would most likely be found online. And many of them, as professionals, they have their LinkedIn profiles. And so, I mean, there's like over 675 million users worldwide on LinkedIn. So you're thinking, well, how could I find anybody in that kind of a scene? And the reason is that you start tapping in and connecting with them and building relationships with them. Attorneys are on LinkedIn, and they are on there more consistently than they are on Facebook. When they're on Facebook, they're going to be more personal. They're not going to really be, they may be there for more fun and for just having, kind of letting their hair down, so to speak. But on LinkedIn, they're professional. They're also going to be looking for individuals that can help them with cases that they need assistance with. So you want to be there so that when they are searching, you will be found.
Absolutely critical to be visible and to be able to share your credibility so that clients will be interested in giving you cases. And it's all about, for us legal nurse consultants, it's about getting cases from attorneys.
Oh, for sure. And there's steps we all need to take when we are connecting on these different platforms. And what I love about LinkedIn is that you can really set your expertise up, your skills, your knowledge on the LinkedIn profile. It will really showcase your knowledge. So when there is an attorney that is looking for some assistance for what you offer, you will have a better opportunity of being found than if you were just on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. Those platforms are fun and they do have benefits. However, LinkedIn in this instance is where you really want to make sure that you're utilizing to grow your business, to really leverage it. Building that solid, what I call a solid LinkedIn profile, knowing where to apply the right message on your profile so that when someone is searching for your expertise or your skills, you'll pop up in that search. I mean, actually, to me, LinkedIn is a search engine, just like Google. When someone goes on Google and they start typing in keywords, they do the same thing in LinkedIn. So you want to make sure that you have the key ingredients that you want to be known for in your LinkedIn profile so that you'll have a better opportunity of being, well, first of all, standing out and then being found.
I know the profile confuses a lot of legal nurse consultants in terms of what words they should include, what concepts they should have in their profile. Do you have any tips for us about what you're planning to cover in our Legal Nurse Consulting virtual conference that takes place next month?
I know, it's coming up soon, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I mean, it's hard to believe that June is going to be over in a few days, and here comes July. And again, I am just so honored to be able to share this with the legal nurse consultants. And what I'm going to really cover are kind of what I call three areas. I mean, it's going to be how to attract your right audience to you. And then once you've attracted them, how to really connect and engage, having that conversation, because that conversation will then lead to the possibility of you actually converting, which means having the opportunity to work with these individuals. And I'm going to share throughout the presentation really about how to make sure that you are making a good first impression. And so when they do find you on LinkedIn, what are they going to see? Are they going to see a profile picture? Are they going to know when they look at your headline or go and read your about area? Or even if they see a cover image, all of these little ingredients, these little pieces of your profile each have play a different role in when someone comes and looks at your profile. So I'm going to cover the steps that you really need to take to create that irresistible LinkedIn profile, so that you do stand out, and especially knowing what to place and where to place strategically in your profile so that you will be found, as I mentioned, if they're searching for someone of your expertise. I'll also share communication techniques, different styles, the different features that you can tap into on LinkedIn and how to use them. LinkedIn has changed over the years, just as every other platform has, and especially since Microsoft bought it. And so there are some areas that they play better than others. So you want to make sure you know where you want to be putting your message, how to deliver the message, and then also once you deliver the message, where you're staying engaged with those individuals that you're connected with. And then most importantly, really taking decisive action so that you aren't just putting your profile up and then posting comments, text messages and articles, or putting comments on other people's their posts as well. You want to make sure that you're taking it to that next level, and I'm going to be sharing some tips on how you can do that, because these platforms are not sales tools. That's a myth in social media. Everyone thinks they need to be on, the LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram to sell. Yes, sales take place, but there's all these other steps you have to take first and focus on the communication. Because to me, that's what they are communication tools for us to be able to connect with people we would normally not be able to connect with because they're not in our area.
I have the same reaction that you probably do when I connect with somebody and I get an automated response back that says, "Hi, I know that you work in a hospital and you buy hospital beds. I've got hospital beds I'd like to sell to you."
Yes.
And I think, I don't work in a hospital and I don't buy beds and I'm not interested in buying beds. And how much do you really know about me if you've got me categorized as a prospect for you in something that's completely off what I do? Can you comment at all about what happens when people start selling in the beginning of a relationship like that?
Well, first of all, it's very frustrating because you're absolutely right. They know nothing about you. They don't know anything about you, really. They don't know what your pain points are, what you're looking for. That is the key thing that we all need to do when we're focusing on prospecting and looking for leads. And we need to make sure that we, first of all, understand the solutions we provide, the benefits of working with us, really owning our own value, and then sharing that through our messaging. And then when we do that, those that are looking to utilize our services are going to understand how we can serve them and their challenges and their pain points. So those individuals that come in, I call it spamming. They connect with you and then they try to sell you. Normally, I'm one to just comment back and say, "Hey, you know what? Sounds like you have a pretty good deal going, whatever, but you know what? That is not interesting to me. What is it that you do for others, or what is it that you're interested in?" I always go look at someone's profile before I personally connect with them, to get a little bit of information about them, familiarize myself with what they are up to so that I have a better way of responding to them. But those individuals that sell to me, I normally end up disconnecting, unconnecting with them because that's all they're doing. It's like going to a chamber event. Everybody comes at you with their flyers and their brochures, and they don't even, hey, how you doing? Here's my card. I mean, those things end up in the trash. They don't even take the time to find out what I'm up to. So one of the things I always do before I go to a live event, and I've taken this and carried it over into LinkedIn as well, I always look at someone's profile and find out a little bit of information about them so that I can actually start a conversation around that topic. And, if I'm going to an in-person event and I know that person's going to be there, now I have something to have a conversation about. I do the same thing on LinkedIn, and one of the tips I'm going to share at the conference is what that next step is, that secret sauce.
And certainly it's critical that we know how to follow up appropriately so that we are showing our expertise, attracting clients to us without being perceived as being pushy salespeople, that term that everybody hates. Keep me away from a pushy salesperson.
Oh, I know it. And sometimes I think that's what keeps some of us from wanting to sell because we don't want to be seen that way. So this is the best platform to really find a way to deepen the relationships with the individuals that you connect with. Find out more about them. And they may never need your services, but you don't know who they know. So you want to make sure that you're tapping into, their resources and developing those relationships so that you are the first person that they think of. It's all about being top of mind. I always like to say you want to be known before you're needed. And that's, to me, social media allows us to do that if we're visible.
And we are so happy to see people joining us. We have Cheri and Martia and Cindy and Amy and Barbara and several other people. Lucille, who has been watching us. We're talking about the power of LinkedIn as a way to attract attorney clients to legal nurse consultants. And Cheri is one of the speakers at our upcoming virtual conference for legal nurse consultants, taking place on July 9 and 10, 16 and 17, 2020. Completely virtual, first ever virtual conference for legal nurse consultants. Just as a final couple of tips, Cheri, I wanted to ask you about something that people frequently ask me is, what do I post on LinkedIn? How do I know what to put on my timeline? Should I write articles? What type of content is best? Is that something that you'll be covering at the conference?
I will. I'm actually going to teach you how to craft what I call a winning content strategy. There are, I break down the elements of actually creating content and understanding that, first of all, we have to understand that LinkedIn has a whole different tonality than Facebook does. And so I'll share those tips as well. But then how to really break down how much content should we create for, say, our that's interesting and even entertaining. We want to make sure that people enjoy our content, and then how we can be a resource and provide informative information to the audiences that we're connected with as well. And then how much can we really get by with really sharing them information that is a little promotional about us, not so much selling, but where they really know where we are the most knowledgeable in and our expertise, and in other words, sharing testimonials. That is one of the best things you can actually share on LinkedIn, is really let them know how you have served and helped other people just like the individuals you're connecting with. So yes, I'm going to be sharing those tips on how to craft that winning content strategy so that you really can expand your reach as well as maximizing your exposure.
And that's such a great tip, Cheri, as I think about the letters that attorneys wrote to me or the emails that they sent, particularly after they won a case, and they would thank me for my services as a legal nurse consultant. And it just honestly never occurred to me at that time to say, would you put a recommendation on LinkedIn? It would have been an easy ask. They were already happy with the result they got. Just making that tip alone, I think, is going to be critical for the people who are coming to your session.
Yes, being in the online arena is new to so many people, even if you've had a website. And, these last few months, we've really had to learn how to leverage our online community and being seen online more, not just on our website and not just posting on social media. For instance, doing these Facebook Lives or using Zoom networking and webinars and such. And when you are really showing on your platform and within your messaging how you have serviced, as I said, and assisted others, and you're building credibility, and I call that social proof. We need that social proof these days so that when there are those that come and look at our platforms, especially on LinkedIn, that profile, they see exactly what we do, how we do it, and most importantly, how we can help them.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Cheri, for sharing your tips with us. If you are a legal nurse consultant watching this and you have not already signed up for our virtual conference, you can do so at lnc.tips/July 2020 virtual. That link again is lnc.tips/July 2020 virtual. There's no spaces between July and the number 2020 or between 2020 and the word virtual. July 2020 virtual. The link is lnc.tips/July 2020 virtual. And if you are watching this on June 26th, our early bird special price is in effect until 11:59 p.m. Eastern, and then the prices go up starting tomorrow. So be sure to get in order to order your ticket for either 1 day, 2 days, or all 4 days of the conference. Cheri, thank you so much for spending time and sharing your knowledge with us.
Well, it's been my pleasure, Pat. I'm, again, honored and excited to be sharing at your first virtual LNC conference on July 17th is when I'll be sharing and speaking. So, and looking forward to meeting everyone there.
Thank you, and take care. Thanks all for watching.
Bye-bye.